Hi friends, Kelly here. Welcome to my channel and welcome back to ABC April 2025. Today is April 2nd and we are doing B, the letter B. So today I am playing with books. So today B is for books. What I have on my desk are a couple of vintage books that I am going to, I'm sorry if this hurts your little heart, destroy. I am going to pull them apart. So when I started junk journaling, I had no idea how to take apart a book properly to be able to salvage all the pieces, all the bits. It took me a long time and a couple of destroyed books to figure this out. So this is going to be a very simple thing that we're going to talk through about how to take apart a book, specifically an old vintage book. We're going to walk through kind of how it's constructed, how to take it apart, and then we are also going to do something with the book pages inside. We're going to make a little craft at the end. I sounded like I was teaching at my elementary school. We're going to make a project. Okay, so here's what I have on my desk. I have a couple of books. I have a couple of tools. Now, you don't need this. This is a seam ripper. This is actually for sewing. Might help if you could see it. There we go. This thing here is to rip open seams for sewing projects and that stuff. I primarily use it for ripping apart books, but you don't need this. You can use the scissors, okay? Now, I will say that not all books are made the same. I am talking specifically about books that are bound with a thread. So if I can find here. Right here, see that? I'll try to zoom in when I do my edits. That is thread. So this is bound by thread. There's probably some glue involved too. And I already checked, this one is also, it's falling apart, the binding is coming apart, but this one is also pulled together with, or bound with thread. Ugh, that's what I was trying to say. Now, you also have ones that are bound by glue. Those ones tend to be a little bit newer. And when I say a little bit newer, I mean they could be as old as the 70s and 80s. I've seen some that reach back that far that are bound with glue. Those ones, I'm not going to go into that today. If that is something you would like to see, please drop me a comment and I'll do a quick tutorial on that. But I found the most effective thing to do is just break the binding. So I didn't grab one of those. We're not going to go down that road. But if it's something you're desperate to know more about, please let me know. Okay, so let's crack into a book here. Now this book is pretty old. The copyright on this one is 1952. So yeah, she's up there. The funny thing about this book, and I think this one too, I bought them at a local library in a used book pile for a project years ago, before I even did junk journaling. And I just needed old books for a library themed bridal shower. And so this book I bought for that. This one I don't know why I bought it, but I liked it. Now, what's funny to me is that I open it up and this school here, this is a total side story, but I'm just going to tell it anyway. This Meadow Creek Christian School, that is actually the school my kids go to now, but it's called something different. And so I'm like, I kind of feel like going, did you want this back? Did you know this was out here? But nope, we're going to use it for crafting. Okay, so let's talk about how books are constructed. Books are constructed with signatures. Just like when we make a junk journal, we put in a signature. If this is completely new terminology to you, trust me, I get it, because it was for me at one point not that long ago. So books are made of signatures. A signature is going to be just a section of the book. That makes it more reasonable to put together, right? So when we do our junk journal, sometimes we have a junk journal that might have one signature and sometimes we have multiple signatures. The signature just means that selection of paper, okay? So here's how I do this. If you stand up your book, you see how, hopefully you can see this, there's kind of a natural divide in sections, okay? So each one of those represents a signature of this book. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna find one of those signatures, and this book happens to already wanna naturally fall open to one. But when we find a signature, what we will find are these threads, okay? So the simplest thing to do is we're just going to cut those threads. all the way down. This one looks like the person that bound it, or the company that bound it, they got a little crazy and happy. So we're just gonna cut those apart, and then you'll start to see they kind of just want to come out. And there's multiple threads in each section. So it's really a matter of just going in. This is not a quick project by any means when you're going to take apart a book. So I'm just pulling all the threads out. This is one of those things where if you say, okay, today I'm going to pull apart some books, you get your favorite YouTuber going, you catch up on some videos you've missed out on. Right now, ABC, April, there's so much content. So this would be a great time to maybe take apart a book because you've got a lot of content to catch up on right now. So this one is a little abnormal because there seems to be, they kind of went stitch happy. They're all over the place. So I am going to keep working on pulling some of this out. You guys don't need to watch me do that the entire time. So I'll get some of these stitches out and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, I've never had one quite so stubborn. So I thought I would turn the camera back on so I can show you. This book, not only is it stitched with the long stitches this way, it also has stitches running this way all the way through the book. So I have had to come in and try to get every last one of those stitches cut out from the back. So this is not my typical experience, but I did want to mention that sometimes you'll come across this. The bottom line is you're looking for the stitches, you're looking to remove those, cut them apart because that's what's going to allow you to take the book apart. Also, look at all of this. Isn't this gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. There's so much tape in here. I mean, I feel bad for the book, but okay, so this one is a little bit peculiar. So this one's going to take a little bit more time because here again we have just all over the place. We have these long stitches. This is typical. These long stitches here. It's the ones running the opposite direction, or what would the right way to say that be? Perpendicular, that have completely stumped me. So this book is going to take a little bit of extra time. It's a little bit stubborn, but that's okay. It's worth taking the time because when I first started messing around with books and taking book pages out, I did not understand this and I would just rip them out. And then you're left with these horrible torn edges and it's a total bummer. So let me grab some book pages so I can show you what you're looking for, what you're aiming for. So these pages came out of a book about bugs and a book about flowers. And when you take care and take time to take a book apart properly, you're left with full intact pages, no rips. Now you can certainly cut it in half, rip it, do whatever you want. But now I have this nice, fully intact page. So what I like to do is when I find one that's particularly beautiful or just all that yumminess, I don't want to hoard that page because I know my tendency would be to never use this because I have multiple ideas for this page. This page has these beautiful roses on it. I could see coloring with alcohol markers or pencils or watercolor or a number of different things. So what I like to do when I come across a page I absolutely love, I scan it. And then I can print it out as many times as I want. I can scale it up or down. I can do all kinds of fun things with it. Now, I have an Etsy shop. I sell digitals. There is definitely copyright issues. So I couldn't scan this page and then provide it to you guys because there are copyrights. This book is not that old. But I can use it for my own personal use. So that is what I like to do. Okay, so that's what we're aiming for. This book is going to be... This one's going to take a while, so I'm going to set it aside, but I thought I would flip one more time because look at this. Look at that. See, this is definitely worth scanning and just like making into other things. And then look at what else is in here. A real library card. Oh, gold. Okay, so I'll come back to that one off camera another time. But I do have another one. This one's in a little bit rougher shape, but same principle. So we'll just so you can see a signature come out properly. That's my goal here. Again, I'm kind of separating it so I can find a signature. And I'm gonna find, okay, so this one, these are big. These are big signatures. Okay, I think I've found it here. And how you'll know is when you look at it, I can see that this page goes back behind these pages. So that tells me that's not the start of the signature. So I'm gonna flip and I'm gonna look here. Now, here's what I've noticed in some books. These two pages seem to be glued together. So it seems that sometimes book makers, when they get from transition from one signature to the next signature, it's glued into the book and those pages can sometimes be glued together. So that's when you're going to gently break the binding. So you hear that cracking? I mean, this one's a little bit more brittle, but I'm cracking it apart and now those two pages are separated. So now I can get into this signature. And then I'm going to do it on the other side of it too, because I kind of already know what's going to happen. So just cracking it apart. Do you see that? Can you see how they're separated there? So this is one signature. Look at it. It's already wanting to come out. So now what typically you need to do is you need to find its center. And here it is. So here's one signature in half. I have my threads. This is what it was supposed to be like with that other book. But you know, I'm glad we came across that because now you'll know, like, what if the first book you try to pull apart is all goofy like that? You're gonna go, Kelly is a liar. No, I promise you, I'm not. But once you understand the principle of what you're trying to accomplish, that will not be a stumper. Okay, so that one was easy because one of the threads was already broken. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and there, ta-da, pulled right out. So now I have these threads, okay? So I can set that aside. Now, if I wasn't talking to you guys, I would just go ahead and keep going and do the whole book. So now we can just pull the pages apart. They might still seem like they're stuck together, but that's only because the paper is, when the holes went through to pierce it and to sew it together, they just kind of became stuck together, but it will come apart. So I just gently take your time. This is not a race. You just gently pull it apart. And for a book like this is all text. Well, I guess not all because there's a photo. So this is really going to be background pages, things like that. Now, when we're talking about a book like this, and there's a lot of, you got a lot of graphics and images and things like that. Sometimes I will go into that book and I will pull out the pages like this, separate them into one pile. All the text pages might go into another pile. I use them for different things. Sometimes if I know it's a project where I might actually like to know what page was next and kind of have maybe 5 or 6 in order, maybe I'll keep them in their signatures in however I store them. So now we can just pull this whole thing apart and we can use any page we want. See, like this page is a little more interesting because you've got some text in the middle. So I just kind of look through the book, pull some of that out, pay attention. All right, so let's go back to our book. We're not going to take the whole thing apart, but I am going to point out a few other really cool things that I like to do. If this wasn't here, this big stamp, look at this page. Look at how beautiful this is. It's aged, it's stained. Same thing over here. This has got tape on it. Like, this would be a great journal cover. But this page is beautiful because of all that. It's got a little bit of writing up here. This is pencil. I could take care of that, get rid of it. And then you flip over and look at this page. That is gold. That is vintage paper that you could stamp on. You can do anything you want. So again, this is one of those things that I would probably scan, and I usually do. I scan this, and then you have your own background paper ready to go. So you'll find that in a lot of old books. Let's look at this one. This one here, again, if that stamp wasn't there, but this is beautiful. So we've got, look, here's another page. Here's another one. This, outside of taking this strip out, you've got all kinds of beautiful old paper. So your books are a very versatile junk journaling treasure trove. If you go somewhere and you get a chance to grab some old books, sometimes the other thing to do, especially if you're like vintage thrift shopping, is do a quick flip through. You might find treasures inside. Buy that book. If there are other things tucked in, people use all kinds of weird things to be bookmarks. You might find some treasures. So that is how I take apart a book. That is the best method, I think, is to just go nice and slow, take your time, and use a good tool. I did most of that with my scissors. Sometimes I use this thing, but my scissors did a fine job. And then again, take advantage of these blank pages. Those are great. Take advantage of pages like this. Like, I might not necessarily need all of this, but that's kind of fun. That's a lot of good space. That's a lot of good space. You truly don't need an entire library of vintage books. Get 2 or 3 and you are set. Oh, and I got another one of these. So this is something where I will very carefully see if I can pop this up. That'll be a treasure for something else. Okay, so that's how we take apart a book. That's what we use in a book, but let's make a craft. So, or project. I don't know why I keep saying craft. I've got some book page here. I also have my scrap from yesterday. And I was thinking, much like a library card pocket, I was thinking about just making a quick little piece of ephemera that could be included in junk journal. So I'm going to take advantage of this and I'm going to fold it up. This is a little bit narrow, but I think that'll be fine. I'm just eyeballing it. And this is kind of how I also would just maybe do a prototype. So I guess I'm kind of doing a combo. I'm doing a prototype and a project with you guys. Okay, so let's see. Now, what I'm thinking is I don't want it quite this tall, so I'm going to cut some of that off. But what I was thinking about doing is taking my book page. I think this will be long enough. Yes, this will totally work. I am going to, I think what I want to do is just wrap the whole thing in book page. Yeah, because it just happens to be the right size. So I'm going to wrap the whole thing, fold it up, and then we are going to have a little pocket that we can stick into our junk journal, and then we can have something sticking in here. Okay, so do I want to trim it down first or after? I kind of think I want to trim it down after. So how do I want to, let's see, I want the seam, okay, I've already folded it, so it's going to go like this. I want the seam in the back. I'm going to do a fold over, and I'm kind of going to create a little bit of a seam here. So I'm just going to flip it so I can see what's on the other side. I will tell you, sometimes you need to pay attention to what's on the pages of the book. What is the context of the book? Because sometimes I have noticed like some really weird like passages, and then you end up with some really strange things. So I am just lining this up. Okay, I'm going to just use the side of this to fold against. I'm gonna fold it over. Now you might be wondering, why are you using this? Why aren't you just folding this over and creating something? Well, this paper is old, and this one's a little bit thicker, but it can be very fragile. And so I'm giving it a structure so that I don't have to worry about it coming apart. There are ways to get around that. You can, oh, this is going to be perfect. You can use some washi tape on the inside of a project. That'll make sense here in a second. I'm not sure I'm going to need to do that, but I'll show you what I mean. Okay, I'm just going to fold this all the way over. And where's my, here it is. So now I kind of have a bulky thing, so it's not going to like this. It's not going to want to fold. And before I do that, I am going to trim it off a bit because I don't want to have an open seam on the top or bottom. I don't want to see the brown paper. Okay, so let's decide how big this is going to be. I think I want it to be more like this size. Yeah. Okay, which way was I going here? This way? All right, yeah, I'm going to do this. So now instead, yeah. Okay, so I am going to throw some terms at you guys if you're new and you're like, what is she doing? I'm going to do some mitering. I got to think for a second, so I'll be right back. Okay. I think I figured it out. I am going to fold it here. So I have a line to work with. I'm going to do it again on the bottom. And the only reason I'm doing this, so I have something here I can eyeball, because I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to come in, and you see how I have my scissors at an angle coming to the point? I'm just going to do it on either side, and that's called a miter. Because if I just fold it all up, I'm going to end up with way, way, way too much paper. And so I'm just going to cut those pieces off. Now, that is not garbage. Do not throw that away. If it's this big, it's usable. Hold on to those scraps. I'll show you why. Okay, so now when I close this up, I'll be able to do this. But I still have maybe a little bit too much on the top. So I'm just going to do a slight trim. I'm doing this really awkwardly. I don't know why I'm doing it quite so awkwardly. Come on, let's go. It's like I'm doing a micro miter here. Just kind of, hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Just kind of taking off the very tippy top and doing it at a very slight angle. Okay. So then when I close it up, now you see how you can see that top edge, but not very much. Fold it down and see how that is going to create a really cool closure. It's almost like an envelope. Where is my crease? Down here. So that's going to be on the back side. I'm going to do that on the back side. Again, I'm kind of making a prototype with you guys. I didn't really have a true plan for this. We're just making it up as we go. And I am absolutely okay with that. Some of the best things and the most fun is when you just kind of wing it. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. Again, I'm just going to go to that corner, and then this time, instead of cutting it the way I did before, I'm going to start with my slight miter up. Same thing on this side. I don't know why my brain is not functioning. What am I trying to do here? Yeah. What am I doing? Oh, that angle was weird. Okay, keep those scraps. The scraps are good. Okay, so now we've got our base. This cardstock's kind of on the thick side, so this whole thing might end up being really bulky, but I'm okay with that. All right, before I glue anything down, I'm going to come back in, find my, where's my, there it is. Okay. Now, oh, you know what? I should have done this direction. Oh, I should have flipped it so that was on the inside. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter because of this. We're going to make it work. Because we will just embellish it and make it look interesting. I basically made a giant coin envelope, a skinny, weird coin envelope thing that I'm folding up. I'm making up something that I don't know if anybody's ever made one of these before. What if I go the other direction? Hang on. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to go the other way because I don't want that on the bottom. Oh, I could do that. Hang on now. Oh, that would solve that problem. Yeah, that would totally solve that issue. Okay, so if we go like that. No, wait, what did I do? I put that on the inside. Put that on the inside. Let me do that. No, that didn't work. What's happening here? It's gotta go under both pieces. That. that. Oh, I just had another idea. Okay, this, I might be onto something totally unique and new. Stick with me here, friends. I have an idea. What if, this is causing a little bit of bulk here. What if we have, this is covered, okay? This gets glued down to create a pocket, but this does not get glued down, and this actually now is a pocket as well. I like that a lot. And we could even leave this back one open. And I gotta be honest, this is not unnecessary. This paper is pretty thick. This is a good book page. So I just made up something completely new. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna seal it. Yeah. But I don't want to abandon this idea. So I want to give you guys what I was trying to do. I didn't have to fold it all around. That was a happy accident. You could simply just take your book page and take some sort of structure. I don't even have to cover the back. I could just cover the front. And this would, well, let's do that too. Let's make a twofer here. We're using book pages, right? I was trying to do this as a super fast video because I want to make sure that, I'm just gonna tear it. I wanna make sure I get this up while it's still April 2nd. I was cutting it close with my, my A video yesterday. But I had to work till 7 o'clock, so that's why I have my lights on. But I really, really wanted to get one up today. So it might be 11 o'clock, but it'll still count. It'll be the 2nd. Okay. That is maybe a little short. I'll trim it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just rip this here along this edge. Ooh. I'll get an interesting torn edge bit. Maybe. Oh, crying out loud. Figures. I'm really not good at tearing paper. There we go. I feel like that would have gone better had I used a ruler to hold on to. That's okay. You're going to get the point. Okay, so here's a couple ways we could make this a cool project. Is we could line, and honestly I wouldn't even need that piece. Line the inside. Let's just take that off. There we go. That's actually really fun. I really like that. Okay, so lining that, we have this. It's maybe a little bit too tall. Let's get rid of it a little bit. Oops, sorry. Gluing this down. We've got this. I could take and round the corners of the top. We have like a slender mini library pocket, and glue this and do some stamping, maybe do another little embellishment. Why I told you guys to keep these is, you know, I would clean this up a bit, trim it up. Stamp something on there, attach it, layer a few things, stick some ephemera in there. Do I have some ephemera? I do. I'll find something. And there, book page, boom. Okay, but let's play with this because I am really enjoying this idea. All right, so I am going to glue this shut. Is that? Yep. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue this closed all the way. Okay, where's my fold? All right, so now we have pocket, pocket, pocket. We need some inking. This would be another fun thing to make multiples of while you're doing it. Just go for it. I'm gonna get out my favorite. Ah! Not that one. There it is. All right, I'm gonna use Vintage Photo. I thought about doing tea dye. Tea dye is a little bit lighter. which I do like, but I'm gonna go a little darker on this. So all around, I probably could have done this before I glued it, but that's okay. I'm gonna do the inside a little too. Another thing I could do is I could notch this a little bit. Probably should have done it before I, nope, I'm not gonna do it. I don't wanna mess with it because I know how that will go. Okay, so just gonna go around the whole thing because I'm gonna glue it down on the sides. I'm not gonna worry too much about the inside, but I am gonna get this a bit more. Okay, there we go. All right, got that. Then this flap here, oops. And I don't know if you're really gonna see this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, got the front. There, got the back. Okay, now I need the bottom. And I think just this side and I'm good. Okay. I could have done here, but I'm okay with it. It's it already has a bit of natural aging to it. Okay, let's glue this down. So I'm just going on the very inside, or the very edge here of the inside. And I'm gonna glue that down. Okay, so that is going to create we made a three pocket thingy. I don't know what to call this, but it's now a 3-pocket thingy. Fun. All right, so let's find some stuff to stick in it, and maybe we do some stamping. Let's get some stamping out. All right, I got all kinds of stuff on my desk now. I have my registered stamp set. This is a Craft Social stamp, so I think I might use that a little bit. And then I pulled out Tim Holtz Tidbits and Eccentric. So I think I'll do something there. And then I pulled out my This and That Volume 1 kit. This is a digital kit that I have available for sale on my Etsy shop. My kit and my stamps are linked below. So I'm just gonna grab something I can stick in there. And I'm kind of thinking, oh, I love that bird. What do we got here? Yeah, something I think on this page or this page. Oh, I could do something with a photo. Nah. What else we got here? I think I have a couple of these printed multiple times. These were all my test prints. Yeah, I've got that a couple of times. I'm not gonna waste those. I'm gonna use them. What is going to be... Yeah, I'm gonna cut that apart too. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I just saw something I wanted to use. All right, so I'm gonna cut this pink ticket out. I like that pop of color. Now, just because I'm working in a grungy junk journal or making ephemera for my grungy junk journal doesn't mean I can't use some fun colors. I am a girl who loves color, pops of color. I definitely crave that sometimes, especially if I've been doing a lot of grungy junk journaling. Sometimes I get a little stir crazy and I gotta have something super colorful. So this kit offers you a little of all that. You got your antique and vintage documents, you got your color pops, you've got a variety of things, you got some snapshots, you got it all. Okay, again, so that's This and That Volume 1. So Volume 1 should tell you more to come. Okay, just, that's a little bit, do I want to go a little bit deeper? Yeah, let's go with the big one. And then, okay, I've got that. Where'd the other thing go? I had something bigger I was gonna stick in there. Is it this? Yeah. I don't think it matters because you won't be able to see it because it'll be in an envelope, but we should put something in there. So I'm gonna put this big guy in there. That's interesting. There's like a kind of a jaggedy edge there. I have this weird scissor. I'm gonna try it. Just because I have it. It's like a, it's like, what is the word I'm looking for? It's like the edge of a stamp. Weird. Okay. I like it. Cut that off. And then it also has like a little thing missing there. So now it has that. Okay, I've got a few pieces. I think that you get the point here. So I'm not going to do the inking right now because you've seen me ink enough, but so we could tuck that in there. I could print something on the, well, not now because I cut it out, but I could have had something on the back printed, but that fits in there. So I got a piece of ephemera in there. That's going to give it a little bit more strength and be just kind of a fun thing stuck in there. I could put like a little tab or something. So if I wanted to have this pocket opened, it could stick out. Then I've got a little card that can go in there. That fits nicely. And then I could attach something to the outside. This also could go, oh, it's a little too wide. I'd have to make it a little skinnier, which I can do because guess what? I have a scissors. Oh yeah, I like that. I'll stick this in. Hey, and if you caught my video yesterday, we talked about acetate. Well, guess what? We could put a little acetate window in there if we wanted to. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, so we got some ephemera that can go in there. Let's do a little bit of stamping. Now I'm going to use, what am I gonna use? Let me grab whatever this is. Ground espresso. Actually, I want to use walnut stain. I'm gonna play with that one. Now, I mentioned yesterday in my video, and again, for you experienced junk journalers, I hope you're getting inspiration in this. This is for you just as much as it's for newbies. Oh, I hope I didn't make anybody feel offended by calling them a newbie. I was a newbie not that long ago. So, anyway, I talked about my recommendations for very new beginners yesterday. And one of the things I said was I would invest in a distress oxide. I would invest in distress ink. I did not mention that this is not the size the only size distress ink comes in. And I'm really sorry if I'm glaring you guys with all of this. I have to have these lights on. It's pitch black out. I just like the mini. I like the mini ones because for a long time, and again, hopefully in my future, I like to be able to build a kit to take with me to travel or go to, you know, a cabin or a crafty weekend, or I've brought my stuff camping. So I prefer the little ones. And also for me at the time, it was far more economical to be able to get a lot of colors by getting the tiny ones. And you can get them in, sometimes you can get them in a collection of 4. That was another thing I started with. So for me, it was more about it being economical. So I do have like 1 or 2 inks that are this size. They do come in this size. Oxide only comes in this size, and it's because of the chemical compound chemistry, sciencey, smart people stuff of why they only come in those bigger ones. Tim Holtz, it's his product, and he did a wonderful job of explaining that all in a video somewhere. Okay, I am just gonna put registered, and what else can we put on there? Actually, you know what I'm gonna put on there is registered shipment. I think I have that word on here. Shipment. Do I not have shipment? Oh, I do. Yeah, down here. Registered shipment, because I might end up just putting this in my field notes folio junk journal that I'm currently working on. Okay, sorry, you're gonna see my head. Okay, registered shipment. And let's see, what else can we put on there? Let's do these little arrows. Where are they? Do the little arrows. I'm gonna do that in red. This is Crackling Campfire. And I'm gonna do it right there. Registered shipment. Yes, yes, yes. You know what? It needs mushrooms. I'm gonna get some mushrooms. Where are my mushrooms? That's what I want on here. Yes. Ooh, and a signature. Yeah, okay. So those bits of ephemera are great. Those would still work, but I am going to make this for my my field notes one, because I'm gonna need a lot of ephemera to fill that thing up. Currently also finishing up Case Closed, which is another themed folio I'm working on, and making ephemera for that. So I'm very much aware of how much ephemera I'm gonna have to make for field notes. I don't think it'll be hard though, because it's a super fun theme. Okay, I'm gonna go a little off the edge. Yeah, that's cool. I love that. And then we can put a slide in it, or I don't know, whatever. Okay, got that. I don't think I'm gonna put anything up here because there'll be something tucked in it, but if I wanted to, I would maybe add a label, but I don't wanna go and dig all that out right now. Last thing I wanna do is add a bit of this here. This is wild honey, and this is a lovely splatter stamp. What was I thinking? I'm gonna need way more. Let's do that. Maybe there and there. Don't forget the back. A lot of it there. I could certainly add some more stamping to the back here. Oh, I was gonna do a signature. Yeah, I want to do a signature. I don't know why, but we're gonna put it here. This is going to be from Randolph. Oops, I gotta put my, where did I put my other ones? Put that back. Randolph H. Van Hoot. Randolph H. Van Hoot. Okay, this is another, sorry, I didn't even tell you what I was working with. There, I know there's a lot of glare right now. Let's get that out of the way. That's annoying. Sorry, I should probably have looked what was happening there. This is also a craft social stamp. This is called Sign Here. It is an entire stamp set of names. It is first names, or my interpretation of first names. One for each letter of the alphabet, male and female versions, or again, my own interpretation of masculine and feminine, I should say. No, I don't want that there. Randolph. And I made it because I want signatures for things. And so I made this stamp set so that you could do faux signatures on ID cards or just random projects, apparently, because that's what this is. Uh-oh. Which way does it go? Here we go. And then, I'm sorry, I'm like in the middle of 300 thoughts. It has a couple of middle initials. Oh, yes. And one theoretical last name for each letter of the alphabet. But I intentionally chose some names that can go multiple ways. You can use them as a first name or a last name, a middle name, however you want to do it. Okay. So, I'm loving this. Okay. Get that out of the way, get that out of the way. Make sure we don't have anything glaring in your faces. Put all of these things away. All right, let's see what we have. Okay, so Randolph H. Van Hoot has been out collecting samples, apparently of mushrooms. And this is his registered shipment. He's ready to send off. So when I put this in my junk journal, I might come back in and add some numbers here. I might add a label, or who knows what I might add. And this then becomes a really cool thing that I can tuck into a junk journal. So again, we've got a little bit of that. This could easily get clipped on with a paper clip. It can get tucked in and stick out with other stuff. It can go in here. I love this. Well, I did not expect to make that, so that turned out really fun. So there we go, we have that. Let's see, what else? I did talk about this. I talked about keep your little scraps. Let's just grab one more stamp so we can put something on it. Here, let's do this. Let's do this number here, so I can show you how awesome this is gonna look and how fun. So if you end up with a bunch of scraps like this, here's another thing you can do. Sit down one day and go through your scraps, get out your stamps, and just have some playtime. And go to town making little tiny bits and pieces. If you have the Tidbits stamp set from Tim Holtz, this is a great one. Let's just do, actually, I want to do a different one. That one says order number, which would be fine, but that's not the one I want to do. I want to get a long strip out. Here's another one. Don't throw that away. You could, but also let me caution you, don't hold on to every single scrap and never use them. If you're never gonna do any of this, then don't hold on to them. Get rid of it. You don't want to be debilitated by having so much stuff that you're just overwhelmed by all your choices, and you know, you kind of got to know yourself. I lost my other block. Where did it go? Does anybody see it? Ah, I found it. I was gonna clean it and didn't. Okay, let's do this one. And then I promise we're gonna be done. I don't think making a short video is in my capabilities. Ooh, I love that. So then I could stamp more stuff on it, or ta-da! Okay, so we've got, look at what we can do with books and book pages. We can make some really fun projects. We can use all of the little scraps. I mean, think about where this came from is just the edging of this book. So you have unlimited vintage paper. Well, it's not unlimited, let's be fair. You have a mass quantity of vintage book paper that you can play with by simply just destroying one book. I know that sounded really harsh and kind of painful, but truthfully, that's what I'm talking about, is take apart our book and you have so much to play with. So that is my take on B, the letter B for books or book pages in our ABC April. So thank you for joining me today. If you are new to my channel, which I know that a couple of you are, and hopefully more of you find me, that's really fun. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel if you like what you've seen so far. Check out some of my other content. I have quite a few videos about junk journaling and just some projects I've done. Give me a thumbs up. I would love that. And then go check out all the other people that are participating. So in the description box here, you'll find the hashtag ABC April 2025. Click on that and go and find other stuff. Go, be, run free, friends. Go find some creatives that you can get inspiration from. I spent a lot of time doing that today, so take it from me. There's so much good stuff there. So thanks again for hanging out with me today. I will see you soon. I don't know if I'll be doing the letter C tomorrow. We'll see. That was corny. I didn't even try. All right, I'm getting delirious. I must go now. Goodbye, friends. I will see you next time.